Good morning and welcome to today's staff brief.
Morning everyone, welcome to the staff brief. I'm Paul Robinson, I'm the Chief Executive here at Sherwood. Today I'm joined by Annette Robinson and Keir Scarlett from our Leadership and Management Development team, and by Dale Travis, our Head of Operations. I'll just kick off with a couple of updates. Don't forget that after the staff brief we have the Wellbeing Wednesday straight after this broadcast, and this week's themes include finance, gambling, drugs and alcohol and domestic abuse. So please join Wellbeing Wednesday after this. So operational update for this week. We've been running really hot at Kingsmill this week. It's been a really challenging week, and in a moment I'll hand over to Dale, who'll give a sort of a greater flavour of that. But I also wanted to reflect on a big thank you to each and every one of you have done to cope through this week and to ensure that patients have been kept safe despite long waiting times and overcrowding, and also reflect on it has been really busy, but that's not necessarily as a result of COVID, which has been stabilising for a couple of weeks now, and we've been able to relax the patient visiting restrictions. They were relaxed on Monday, and we closed the surge capacity that had been open for the sort of latter half of January and into February. And I want to thank everyone who contributed to standing that up and indeed standing it down, and the extra effort that everyone went to ensuring that patients were safe through the Omicron wave. Okay, thank you. I'll hand over to Dale, and just a reminder to everyone watching that please use the chat if you have any comments or questions, and we'll pause after Dale for any questions, and then move on to leadership development with Annette and Keir. So Dale, you've been acting Chief Operating Officer this week. So what's your week been like, Dale? And just give everyone a flavour of the actions that have been taken. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, and I'm sure colleagues will know from the pop-up messages and the frantic actions. We have been on Opal 4. So what that means is that we're at our hottest in the trust in terms of patient flow, with a focus always on patient safety and being able to turn around ambulances quickly at the front door to allow them to get back on the road to pick up other patients who need emergency access. I think if I just put the context regionally, I think every trust has been on Opal 4. Particularly Lincoln was in critical incident, so we were no different really to where other colleagues have been. I think the good thing is we've stepped down to Opal 3 today, but what we saw over the last couple of days was really more admissions than with discharged patients, particularly the surgical and medical pathways were very challenged. We did manage to get patients in, but we did have very long waiters in ED, with patients waiting in excess of 24 hours for a bed. So we had a high volume of patients, mainly elderly patients as well, who waited a long time. That said, we provided excellent care for those patients in ED. Patients were given comfort rounds, were all placed on a bed and were given hot meals. All the treatment was started in there as well. And it's a big thanks to all the divisions who sent staff down to support ED, particularly overnight as well. And I think where we are on Opal 4, if staff ever want to just walk through ED to see how challenged they are, you know, we often have to put 2 patients in a bed space, and infection prevention, as best as we try, goes out the window sometimes just to keep those patients safe. We also moved into the paediatric area with adults, obviously keeping paediatrics separate as we could, but we needed to move into that space just to keep people safe. I think a big thanks as well to Peter Lee and MEMD, who sent down pumps and drip stands as well. So we could get the blood transfusions and all the drips moving as well to give the patients the treatment. We put pharmacy support in there as well, and as I've said, we had as many nurses and healthcare down that could support throughout the night. We were very grateful for that, and we did manage to clear yesterday's work at 5 o'clock last night, so we're back in real time, which it just goes to show the effort that, you know, all the wards and all the corporate areas as well supporting discharge have done to get these patients safely placed. Much better start today. We just had 4 patients waiting this morning, whereas the last couple of days we've been in excess of 24 patients waiting for a bed. So thank you to colleagues as well. SDEC, PC24 stepped up. You know, they've really helped us as well to manage what we could through same day. same day emergency care. And we're very grateful as well for colleagues supporting that. And as I've said, ambulances were able to turn around and get on the way, which most trusts don't deliver that. When ED gets crowded, we end up stacking ambulances. We've never had to do that here at Kingsmill, and I think we should be really proud about that. So we're enabling our ambulance teams to get back out, and get the poorly patients to bring them back in again. But a challenge all the way around. So thank you, big thank you to all our colleagues who've stepped up to support that recovery yesterday and day before. I think I'll just acknowledge as well, our medically safe patients are increasing again. We did start to clear and get patients safely discharged. Unfortunately, I think with half term and still that difficulty, getting packages of care in particular, we've got 77 patients in delay on that discharge pathway as of today. I think particular pressure is in our elder care beds where we've got a big number of patients waiting. We are taking every proactive action with our partners in order to try and safely discharge people. Some of that may mean we're placing patients into interim beds in care homes because it's half term week. Care homes are still quite challenged, and I would say the rate of COVID amongst 80 plus is still quite similar, so it's not dropping off at the same rate for us younger people. So we've still got some COVID challenges in our care home, and also diarrhea and vomiting as well with norovirus. So it is proving difficult to get patients safely transferred, and I just acknowledge that as well for particularly ward managers and staff on the wards. But we are doing our very best with our partners to safely get people home there as well. I've talked about half term. We always have people on holiday, and absolutely right that that's so, but it does give us a bit more pressure and staffing challenges across the patch, particularly as well in certain areas like NICU, and I know we've got some anaesthetic challenges as well, and particularly in our paediatric registrar workforce as well. We are really aware of that. Robin is looking after agency recruitment, and we are trying to cover what we can across the trust to keep us at minimum levels. But if any areas having particular challenges or need us to know something that we're maybe not aware of, please do let us know. You can ring the duty nurse manager, ring myself, or work through the divisions, but please do let us know if there's any worries or concerns there. But thank you. We're in a much better position today. Long may it continue. And I think you've done a tremendous job getting us to recover those last couple of days. We've just got to get a good position for the weekend now, because I think Derbyshire have half-term week next week as well. So I imagine we're still going to have similar challenges into next week. So we just need a really good weekend for discharges. And I know all the teams are preparing that as we speak. So thanks very much, everybody. Very, very happy to take any questions.
Thanks. Thanks, Dale. Got a comment in the chat about how great it is to see you and to hear you give an operational update, and perhaps we could do this more often. So I'd welcome that too. And thanks for the update. And it brought home to me the sort of great Team Sherwood ethic in terms of understanding patient needs and being flexible in response. You know, that you were describing how other teams had helped ED overnight and how MEMD had provided additional equipment. So they were just great examples of the sort of collective response from everyone. So thank you to everyone who did that, and thank you, Dale. You, as I mentioned, you've been acting Chief Operating Officer while Simon is on leave this week, and demonstrated superb leadership through yourself and your team, duty nurse matrons and Silvers et al. And so thank you, Dale. Really appreciated us interacting, and I know I've sent you love hearts today. So that was a little two days late from St Valentine's Day, but I did appreciate hearing that we were on Opal 3 this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can't see any questions specifically in the chat, so we'll move on, and Dale, if you can stay with us, and then maybe there'll be some more comments or questions later. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to hand over to Annette Robinson and Kia Scarlett from our Leadership Management Development team. We're going to talk to everyone around leadership development opportunities in the trust. So Annette, am I handing over to you in the first instance? On mute, dreaded mute.
I'm on mute.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, my name's Annette Robinson, Senior Leadership and Management Development Trainer, and I have with me
Kia Scarlett, Leadership Management Development Trainer.
And we're just going to share some slides with you that detail our leadership and professional development offers and the current ones that are, you know, sort of happening at the moment.
I'm just going to double check that these are sharing. People can see those, can't they?
Yes.
They are, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fab. So in terms of some of our upcoming and most recent leadership and management development offers, the most topical one we wanted to share with you all at the moment is what's known as a leadership support circle. These are a national offer rolled out by NHS England and NHS Improvement, and these were designed to be a series of safe, reflective spaces for anyone who leads, manages or supervises staff. They are based around 10 key evidence-based behaviours which have been proven to help leaders support themselves and their teams through COVID and challenging times and beyond. They apply in a variety of contexts. We did launch these today. We had our first session this morning on theme 1, looking after yourself. That was really well attended, and actually with the feedback on that so far has been really positive. Spaces are filling up quite quickly. You do book onto these on the SFH course booking system, the same you would book onto any other course or programme within the trust. Because of the nature of how quickly these are filling up, one thing I would say is if you do book on and realise actually that you can't attend, please do email us to let us know that you actually don't need that space anymore, so we can open that up to someone else. These are award winning across the country, and we are really excited to bring them here to Sherwood. There is a really strong accent on actually how do we support our leaders. So it's a really viable space for you to come if you are a leader or manager to actually share your own experiences under some of these themes, get a little bit of support and build that supportive network for you as well. And we do a little bit of signposting. There is a taught element to these sessions, so the real positive takeaways. So that is our first offer we wanted to raise with you today. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand you over to Annette Robinson now, who's going to take you through some of our wider offers we have on available to you within the trust.
Lovely, thanks, Kia. So I'm going to talk to you about the leadership and development professional offers. We publish a flyer twice a year, and last year we did deliver this to every department and ward round the trust. It's a trifold flyer, so it's got all the information that is on that slide on the inside, and then it's got other information again about the leadership support circles and our coaching and mentoring offers in the trust. So this slide here shows you the toolbox talks that we deliver, and we deliver these both virtually and face-to-face. Obviously, we reduced the amount of face-to-face delivery during the height of COVID, and we converted lots of our offers to be virtually delivered, and they do work quite successfully on MS Teams as we've adapted them. So our toolbox talks are delivered. We've sort of titled them, encompassed them under our care values, and within that there are offers there for all staff, and there's identified ones suitable for managers and leaders. What I would say is if you are somebody who is aspiring to be a leader and manager, you would be very welcome to the toolbox talk. So please don't think it excludes you, because we do want to be inclusive. So we would be very welcome to see you. Again, you book on via the online course booking system, and we open those so that there's always 2 dates available. We don't open them for the year because people forget, etc. So we're always sort of like opening them on a rolling basis. So there definitely will be dates there for bi-monthly. Okay, there is also as well, we run our internal leadership development programme, our team leader development programme, which is 1 day study day over 6 months, and there's an online learning platform with that as well, and that's on the Sherwood E-Academy. We also offer a SFH Managers Induction 1 day, which for any new leaders within the trust, be they internally promoted, be they from people that have come into the trust, etc. And within that gives an idea of what our expectations are of our leaders and managers. Talks about again sort of like our care values, also as well about sort of like learning about your personality, work style, to how we can better engage with other people. Then there's also the Clinical Leadership Development Programme, which is delivered by the Practice Development Matrons. That's 45 hours taught hours over 12 weeks, and Alison Davidson is the person to contact if you're interested in the Clinical Leadership Development Programme. We also offer apprenticeships within the Trust. They are fully funded by us from the apprenticeship levy, and they range from level 3 team leader supervisor apprenticeships to the level 7 senior leader apprenticeships. And if anybody's interested in any of those, please get in touch. We can talk you through what they entail. There's also as well our external offers. There's the Edward Jenner programme. That's for anybody who's new to leadership or interested as an aspiring leader. That's a online learning, 35 hours of e-learning videos, and you complete it all online, and you come out at the end with the Edward Jenner, the NHS National Leadership Academy Award in Leadership Foundation. Then we also offer the Mary Seacole Local programme, which is a 6-month programme with our ICS partners, Nottingham University Hospitals, Notts Healthcare Trust, Local Authority, CCG. And that's 3 workshops that you attend virtually now, and then there is online learning that you work your way through, and you develop a journal, you post discussion forums, and at the end there is an assignment, and you come out with the National Mary Seacole Local Leadership, the National Leadership Award. Do you want to move on to the next slide, Kia? So current applications that are open then, from a senior leader perspective, there's a systems leader apprenticeship with Arden University, and also their senior leaders apprenticeships. The systems leadership one is a new leadership apprenticeship that Arden University are offering, and that is across the Midlands, so that can yield some really good networking, some good contacts, and some really rich learning with other systems leaders as well. And likewise the senior leaders, that again you could be countrywide on that programme virtually with other senior leaders. So applications for both of those apprenticeships are open until the 24th of February. If anybody is interested in that, I do have webinar recordings that I can send to you. If you want to email the Leadership Development email at the bottom there, I can send you those webinar recordings for you to decide if you think it's for you. Our Team Leader Development Programme, the applications for Cohort 9 are currently open until the 27th of February. That programme starts in June of this year. And again, you need your manager's support for that, as you do with the apprenticeships. The Mary Seacole Local Programme, the applications are open until the 13th of March. That is for Cohorts 14 and 15. Kia and I are both facilitators on the Mary Seacole Local programme. There is a cost attached to that. It's £150, which the division or the individual would need to fund. Certainly some of our nursing and AHP colleagues have used their CPD monies towards that. What I'd say is that cost is really comparable, because the national Mary Seacole programme, that costs £995, but because we deliver it again with our ICS partners, we've managed to have a licence between us all, so the costs are £150. All that information can be found on our Leadership Development intranet page, or by contacting Kia and I for further information. And you know, any questions, talk to us, any queries, we can signpost you, we can sort of give you our sort of like take on which programme we think might be best suitable for yourself. So happy to take any questions, Paul.
Thanks Annette, thanks Kia. We've already got some comments actually, and one of them is that someone who attended the first session for leadership circles this morning and really appreciated it. Thank you Annette and Kia for your time and passion for this programme. So there's no better. There's nothing better on as feedback immediate as that, and Keir. So well done. That's a really good advertisement for what you've been talking about with us. There was a question about where we can find the information in the virtual flyer, and in the chat, Charlotte has published the email address that you mentioned earlier, which is the sfh.trleadershipdevelopment@nhs.net email address. So we'll make sure that people can get access to that. You also mentioned that they could contact you guys directly, so they'll find you easily on the email address, won't they? Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Can't see any other questions specifically on leadership development. There's lots going on there, so I'm guessing that that most people want to sort of recap that by accessing the flyer as we've published, and very excellent. You know, I'm really pleased to hear that we've done a really good deal across the ICS to get a better value for people to be able to join those external opportunities. Someone suggesting that they are completing the Edward Jenner programme, and it's really good, and the Toolbox talks have been really helpful in tandem with this. So again, really good feedback and encouragement for people to get involved in the offer that you've talked to us about. Really strong offer, so thank you for updating us on that. Pick up any other comments as we go. Been two questions. I think there was a comment about asking around how we can make sure that masks are available in the main entrance each morning. So there's been a couple or 3 occasions in the last week where that hasn't been the case. We will sort that. We'll make sure that masks are available at all our entrances. And then there's a question about an update, please, on the substantive chief executive recruitment. Well, the recruitment process is well underway. Applications have closed, and the interview process will conclude in early March, so a couple of weeks away yet. Okay, can't see any other questions. Have I missed any, Charlotte?
No, I can't see any more as well, Paul.
Just give a couple of minutes for people to sort of post a question if they've got one, whilst I just cover off one last thing to inform people about, and that's the upcoming elections to the Council of Governors. You should have all received an email on this in your inbox on Monday, but I just wanted to make sure you were aware of an opportunity to become a staff governor and join the Council of Governors, which the purpose of the Council of Governors is to represent the interests of the patient and the public, and also staff, which is why there's an opportunity, and we're seeking 3 staff governors to join the Council of Governors. One of the other roles the Council of Governors has is to hold the non-executive directors of the trust to account for the whole performance of the trust. So really interesting opportunity here. So nominations, it's by nominations, but you can nominate yourself, so nothing too arduous or onerous there. The nominations have opened this week. If you find the email that should have landed in your inbox on Monday, and it could have gone to your personal email address when you joined the trust, you used that. It probably could be still lying in your junk inbox somewhere, but that's really easy because there's a button to click on that to process the nomination for yourself. There are other ways to be able to contact, and Charlotte will be publishing those in the chat, and also you'll find them in the staff bulletin. So please consider getting involved. I know that those who have taken part in the past have found it really useful, really good insight into how the trust is governed and interactions with the trust board. So please consider putting yourself forward there. Okay, so one further question about update on the chief nurse and chief operations officer roles. So yes, so as you inferring there. So Julie Hogg and Simon Barton will sadly be leaving the trust in the coming months, and the recruitment for those roles will take place when we have a chief executive officer announced. So early March is the intention there. So we'll get that moving in a couple of weeks as well. Okay, so can't see any other questions. Last shout out is don't forget the Wednesday wellbeing session immediately after this, and to thank Dale, Annette and Kia for joining today, and to the currently the 66 attenders watching us. So thanks to each and everyone, and anyone that watches on catch up. And thanks for all you've been doing this week to keep patients safe and to support good patient care. Let's hope, as Dale says, that we can enter into the weekend with in a good position with a good plan, and any other half-term challenges can be ridden through next week in a safe and manageable way. So thanks to everyone. Thank you. See you next week. Have a good week. Goodbye.